What is up, guys? So we've got the new Datascape archetype. This is quite a cool looking archetype. They've got kind of a funky cyber psychic kind of look to them. I don't know, it reminds me a little bit of like Digimon or Pokemon as well. But guys, before I get into this, leave a like if you're enjoying the content so far. Comment and tell me what you want to see next, and subscribe to my channel. I've got plenty more coming out for you, some more spicy deck profiles as well. I can't wait to put this in the lab and come out with some nice decks for you guys. But let's go on to the monsters and just have a brief overview of what they all do. I'm gonna butcher most of the names, not gonna lie, but guys, forgive me. So let's move on. We first have Killing, and so when this card is in your hand, you can target one Datascape card you control. You cannot summon monsters for the rest of this turn except level 3 or higher monsters. Also send one Datascape card from your deck to the graveyard with a different card type from the targeted card. If you do, special summon this card, and then you can send one Datascape card from your deck to the graveyard with a different card type from the targeted card, and the card you sent to the graveyard except Datascape Killing. So these have all got really long and overly complex effects, but I'm just going to paraphrase. So what this card essentially is doing is a special summoning itself if you already control another Datascape card, and then first you can send one card to the graveyard. However, it has to be a Datascape card and it can't be the same type. So if you target a monster, you have to send a spell. If you target a spell, you have to send a trap. Then you get to Foolish another card, but that card also has to have a different type. So if you've already sent a monster and a spell, you've got to send the trap. If you've already put a spell and a trap, you've got to send a monster, and vice versa. So again, pretty much a free special summon. Now Lao again, now they all have these same clauses, which you can't special summon for the rest of this turn except level 3 or rank 3 or higher monsters. What you have to realize, this also stops you from special summoning link monsters. Link monsters have a link rating. So that's why, as you can even see in my profile so far, I do not have any link monsters. You will not be able to use things like Cherubini. Cherubini would probably be quite solid for this archetype, but you could not use Cherubini, or you could, but you would have to kind of do a bit of fumbling around first before you can use that. But however, Datascape Savant has a similar effect, except after he sent the first card to special summon himself, now what he's allowed to do is special summon a card from your graveyard in defense position. Then moving on, you have Datascape Lady Riri. So now the level 3 monsters have slightly different effects than level 6 monsters. So what this one does is, again, you're going to target a card you control and special summon this, but what this will do is it will search a card from you. So you'll send a card and then you'll search a card with Riri. Cyberspace Princess. Now I'm not sure if this card is going to be a Datascape card as well, or if it's actually going to be a sort of sideways archetype that is kind of part of the archetype. No, I'm not sure if this is a translation thing, but this has a similar effect except it applies in the graveyard. So first you're going to special summon this card, then you are going to target one of your banished cards and recycle it. So again, a really good card for the archetype. This archetype is very good at recycling its own resources, which is always a good thing for a deck like this. Then we have the last Datascape monster so far, which is Datascape Z. It's the little doggo that we have here, and what he's going to do is he is going to special summon himself. Again, this is from the hand, so we have Z and Lady are from the hand, Princess is from the graveyard, but yeah, he's going to special himself from the hand, and then during the end phase you can add a Datascape monster to your hand. So there we have the monster lineup. A lot of special summon power, a lot of recycling power, just quite a lot that these can do, and they're very fast cards. They are all going to be not only special summoning themselves for free, but they're also going to be sending a card to the graveyard, and they all have an effect on top of that. So moving on, we have Datascape Capital. Now this card is actually quite nice for the archetype for two reasons, and the first thing is that it allows you to play one of your either your spell or your trap straight away. Now the spell and trap, I would say they're better going second when they're activated on field than going first. However, they are still really good cards in general, and it's nice to have a card like this that you can just activate them, so you take away most of the disadvantage of the trap. I have a feeling that it's very possible you could see this being cut out of the deck completely though, because while it is a nice card, it does not have a graveyard effect like the other two Datascapes. But essentially, if you have two Datascape cards and you use this, your Datascape monster is going to gain attack. 3, you mill 3 cards. If you have 4, this is an insane effect. Special summon up to 4 Datascape monsters with different names from your extra deck. Now, this effect you're unlikely to get off unless you have several copies of the spell and trap. But if you do get off, I mean, that is really, really strong, especially as the extra deck monsters are very, very good. Then we move on to the continuous spell, Datascape Gate. And what this is going to do is You can banish a Datascape card from the graveyard and then negate a monster on field. This is its field effect. In the grave, it's going to search a card, then send a card to graveyard. So this is an amazing card. I mean, this card, you always want to really have it in the graveyard because it's searcher. However, even on the field, it is nice going second. It's going to do a lot. And it's really nice to have a card like this in the archetype, that it's a spell that does a lot for you, but still allows you to go second. So it's useful regardless of when you see it. And then lastly, the last Datascape card, main deck Datascape card that we have seen is Datascape Gate Zoo Key. And what this is going to do is going to recycle your cards and then pop a card if it's face up on the field. And again, remember, you can activate this directly from the gate with capital. So even on turn 1, this is going to be possible to use on the field. However, there's no reason why you would want to use this on turn 1, but it's still very nice to have. And then during your main phase, when it's in the graveyard, you can banish it from the grave. It will allow you to modulate the levels of one of your Datascape cards by 3. So that's really, really, really good. Again, all of these cards, I mean, right now, there's no reason to not play any of them at 3, in my opinion. They're all very good cards. Now we move on to the extra deck. This deck has a lot of different cards. So we start off with Datascape Shell, Gia, and what this is going to do is it's going to stop one monster being destroyed by battle until the end of your opponent's turn. And then if this battles a monster and you have 2 or more monsters with the same original type and attribute in your graveyard, which is quite easy because you have a few monsters that are like that are either Wind Psychic or Wind Worm, then you get to banish that monster. So it's an okay card. Not amazing, but it's okay. Then we have Long Long. When it has material, your opponent cannot target it. And one interesting thing about Long and about all of their XYZ monsters, it's 2+ monsters. You do not only have to use 2 monsters to make these Xyz monsters. But then moving on, if your opponent activates an effect of a monster with an attribute that is not on their field while they control a face-up monster, detach to negate. So a simple negate, not too bad. Moving on, we have Feng. Once per turn, detach 2 materials, target 1 face-up card and 1 card in either graveyard and banish them. Then, if it's destroyed by battle, you get to summon 2 Datascape monsters with the same type and attributes. So again, quite a good card. I would say the best one is out of the Xyz monsters, the best one is the level 3. However, the level 6 is quite good as well. Then we have Geo. Now, what this is going to do, while you've got 2 or more monsters with the same original type and attribute in the graveyard, but different names, this can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. You can banish 2 monsters, target 1 card in the field, send it to the graveyard. Again, really nice effect. Then moving on to the big daddy, the level 9, and this is the real reason I would say why the deck is quite potent. Its main effect, which is that any card sent from the field to the graveyard is banished instead. That is a really powerful effect, a nice walking macrocosmos for the deck. And this deck obviously won't care about being banished itself. Then, if your monster declares an attack, you can return a banished monster to the graveyard, and you can, so you don't have to. And on top of that, during your main phase, you can banish 2 other monsters from your graveyard and special summon this. So it's basically a Dragon Ruler as well, a Macrocosmos and a Dragon Ruler. This card is insane. So again, we have this deck, it's focused on kind of XYZ summoning, synchro summoning on the levels 3, 6 and 9. Now, as you can see, you can't really use link monsters in this archetype, or at least not so far. You can probably force them in, but you're going to want to do your link plays first before moving into anything else. But you can see this deck is very good at turboing out cards like Calamities, which right now is very busted. It's going to be one of the cards you're going to want to go for. But I would actually overall say this card feels more like a going second archetype. It's just very good. They only need 1 or 2 cards to combo off because everything searches and sends each other. And so yeah, you could play a build like this to kind of go second, but I'm definitely going to have this deck in the lab, figure out some profiles and bring them to you guys so you can see exactly what you can do. But guys, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, let me know what you want to see next and subscribe to the channel. I'll talk to you all soon. Peace.